all-nighter. Street magic, chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just a kid from Fall River, what I know. Riding through my city that they're gentrifying, market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there, they ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame, gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife, transparent police, body cams that's live, I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it. Even though when involving police it becomes public info, but that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying, panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying. Parents crying, losing kids, half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth? Teach them right and wrong, when not to shoot. Started young in kindergarten. Mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings. The senior year, let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR. Let's build that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Fall River. It's just my observations. Chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. It's all-nighter. All-nighter. Street magic, chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just a kid from Fall River, what I know. Riding through my city that they're gentrifying, market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there, they ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame, gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife, transparent police, body cams that's live, I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it. Even though when involving police it becomes public info, but that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying, panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying. Parents crying, losing kids, half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth? Teach them right and wrong, when not to shoot. Started young in kindergarten. Mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings. The senior year, let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR. Let's build that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Fall River. It's just my observations. Chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. It's all-nighter.
The Fall River Public Library proudly presents his 2026 Summer Reading Program. The Fall River Public Library proudly presents his 2026 Summer Reading Program, Amazing Things Happen at the Library, sponsored by Rockland Trust Bank and the Friends of the Fall River Public Library. What's so amazing about the library, you ask? Well, one thing is, we have our own friendly book drop monster. He's ready to take your library books whenever you return them to the Fall River Public Library.
A tasket, and I drop the book off in a basket. Mr. Book Monster, I have a book for you.
Thank you.
Most libraries will tell you there's nothing in those great big boxes, but I'm here to tell you differently. They arrive to work every morning to receive your books and bring them into the library so you don't have to. You can submit your suggestion for a perfect name for the Fall River Public Library's own library book drop monster at this year's summer kickoff on June 30th at 11 o'clock on the front lawn of the library. This summer, our kickoff will feature the Toe Jam Puppet Band performing at 11 o'clock right on the library's front lawn. Bring a blanket, a picnic lunch, and enjoy the entertainment. Also, sign up for this year's 7-week Summer Reading Club, another amazing thing that the library has to offer. What else is amazing, you ask? Well, throughout those 7 weeks, we have a wonderful selection of children's events and other exciting family programs. Puppet shows, magic shows, animal shows, story times. You can visit the library's online summer schedule to find out what's happening at the library. Or drop by the children's room and pick up a schedule. Know exactly what's happening throughout the summer. We hope to see you this year at the Fall River Public Library's summer reading program, Amazing Things Happen at the Library.
Try this again. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Aaron All-Nighter. This is episode 4 of the Fall River Experience podcast. Back, I guess. Now, share this out to your news feed. Share this to groups. Tag people in a post. Tag people in the comment section. Send this out to like-minded individuals in Messenger. It is highly appreciated. Thank you. We are streaming right now on 3 different platforms. We are on YouTube on Street Magic Multimedia, and we are on Facebook on 2 different locations, the Fall River Experience Facebook page and Aaron All-Nighter Facebook page. So comment below where you're watching from and follow, subscribe, turn on notifications. It's highly appreciated. Now, last episode, forgot to do it, but for those that were familiar with the Fall River Experience before, I started each and every episode with the weather. That way you know how to dress for the day. Some people starting their day right now, whether you're 3rd shift, 1st shift, 2nd shift, whatever shift, the weather might change out during the day. May not have got a chance to check it out, but we're going to talk about the upcoming weather, and then we're going to get right into this news. But while this weather plays, share this out everywhere. Share. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Or above. Speaking of hurricanes, let's look at the hurricane barrier in New Bedford Harbor here, and it's open, obviously, no concerns today, but very busy with fishing boats.
Lots of boats coming in and out. Yeah, very, very busy in the harbor there. That's a big fishing boat. I don't know, is it coming in, coming out? I can't even tell. Wow, yeah, a lot of traffic there.
Yeah.
Traffic cop at the hurricane barrier.
Fresh fish tonight.
Yes,
restaurants.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what's going on across the region here. Speaking of fish, here's the fishing pier in the Providence River in East Providence, currently at 77 degrees. Look at Newport Harbor, and we're looking at just a little ripple in the water, 77, clouds mixing with sunshine. Yeah, there's New Bedford Harbor, 76 degrees there. Water pretty calm in the harbor, and you can see out toward Buzzards Bay, a little bit of fuzziness in the sky, and I think that's partly due to all the humidity around. Mid to upper 70s across all of southern New England. A little cooler there out on Block Island. You're at 71. Yeah, look at the dew points. It is very humid. I just took a peek outside a little while ago. It feels like Florida outside. Dew points in the low 70s at the moment. Muggy meter for today. We're looking at high dew points all day. But look at tomorrow. The dew points getting down to comfy levels. 58 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. 55 on Sunday. Even Monday still reasonably comfortable. But look at Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's actually the beginning of a heat wave. Heat and humidity building Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday. So for today, a lot of humidity around. but we've got a cold front that's going to be working its way through. And as we get into the late afternoon and evening, look what we got here. A couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Now, not every community sees them, but we could be looking at a couple working their way through. Cold front pushes offshore, and then we're going to be seeing partly sunny skies for tomorrow morning with more of a northerly wind, a lot more comfortable and not quite as hot either. It looks to be pretty nice throughout the entire weekend. Now, Saturday afternoon, I think we're dry, high pressure building in for Saturday night, Sunday morning, giving us a lot of sunshine on Sunday. Still very low humidity, as you saw. So for today, temperatures are going to be topping out around 89 degrees. Very warm, very humid, very summery feel. Kind of feels like Florida out there. There's that chance for a late day thunderstorm or two. Out on the beaches, more of a land breeze. So even coastal communities today will be getting into the mid to maybe even upper 80s with partial sunshine. I think most of the clouds and fog have lifted, maybe except for Block Island. Still a little foggy out there. Surf today 3 to 5 feet. Rip current risk is generally pretty low. Out on the bay, we're looking at winds from the west and northwest, 5 to 10 knots with partial sunshine. There could be a late day or better yet, evening thunderstorm, boaters. Just keep your eye to the sky. We're looking at a high tide right around 5 p.m. today. Now tonight, we've got that chance for that evening thunderstorm, and then skies should partially clear. Late night lows around 67. We'll call it partly sunny for tomorrow with temperatures in the low 80s, lower humidity. Very, very comfortable day tomorrow. A lot more in the way of sunshine on Sunday. Good beach weather all weekend. 83 degrees Sunday, even Monday looking good. You know what? Even Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is good beach weather, despite the fact that it looks like another heat wave developing. 90 to 93 degrees Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with high humidity. The entire forecast, you can always get it anytime, WPRI.com.
Great. Another heat wave. Muggy outside. Hot. 89 degrees. Guess what? It's rough out there. So make sure AC, all of that goodness. Now, did you guys share already? Did you? If you haven't, why not? Why you slacking? And if you're a real supporter, put @followers, @highlight in the comment section. Highly appreciated. Now, we're going to keep this going and get into the news. Now, first off, we know that there's been some controversy about the fire department and the firehouse on Bedford Street with the conditions that these firefighters are living and working in. There's a new documentary that was filmed called Burnin Down the House, where the fire chief discusses how, bad it is. And how, as a community, we respect firefighters. So you would expect our tax dollars to represent that in their living and working conditions. I got a clip of Burning Down the House documentary that will be premiering in Worcester. Hopefully it gets a showing at the Marketplace here in Fall River at the theaters there. Hopefully we can get it shown in the city. Now, it's called Burning Down the House. And I want to know what your comments are, how you feel about these conditions in the firehouse. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
We gave the city a grant awarded the city a grant, an award of $700,000+ to begin the repointing of the bricks on the north side of the building, fix the windows, get some mini splits so you don't have to have air conditioners that are dropping condensation on the beautiful medallions that are on this beautiful building, but they're not beautiful right now. They're rusted out. And not one dime has been spent on the work to the building. So that's not even money that the city had to find within their normal budget. This is a grant awarded to the city from a different city budget. And, that hasn't even been spent. And it's, for me, I hope this film changes everything. I hope this conversation changes everything. I'd like to see that, not in 5 years, but I certainly significant reversal of the conditions of the building. If you walk through my fire station, it is frustrating to know that there was a priority somewhere else rather than right at home when we're just asking for necessities. In the basement, we have had water come into the building from all parts. We've had water, sewage come up through some of our drains. Obviously, that air, that odor, that to me, bacteria, mold spores, all that stuff is in the air and it's moving through our building. I think we are routinely one of the most respected professions that's locally, whether it's state level, nationally. I think people care. But do you have the wherewithal, the guts sometimes, to put your vote and your voice on an issue that will impact and change what's going on? And that's different. That's at times has been difficult. It is about prioritizing spending. There's seemingly unending amounts of money for projects that certain people care about. And so when we bring these issues up, we're trying to say that, listen, I think people in the community are going to be shocked that this is what our stations look like. And I don't think that's what they want their tax dollars to go to. We're not asking for fire stations with, gold-plated anything and marble anything. We're looking for, lights that work all the time. I want outlets that might work, bathrooms that consistently work, urinals. I talked earlier about cancer, which is ripping through the fire service. Fall River, no different. We need showers that work. So the whole group of firefighters that are working at the center station can separately take a shower, simultaneously and help get those carcinogens off.
Absolutely deplorable conditions at that firehouse on Bedford Street. Recently, we discussed the other day that the city has put a bid out for renovation of the outside, of the electrical, of some plumbing, but nowhere in the bid contract was asbestos removal, which needs to be in there. I think it's a shame how we have our firefighters living in the city. I believe that we should do better as a community. We should speak up louder for our firefighters, especially after everything they've done protecting our city. It's a tough job. Most people, their instinct is to run out of a building that's on fire. These people run into a building to make sure we are all safe. Let's respect that. Now, speaking of respect, Mayor Paul Coogan recently showed up at the planning board meeting to issue a citation to a former board member who served 19 years on the planning board. This man is 90 years old. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
Yes, as well. Under new business, citation, presentation of a citation in recognition of service to the Fall River Planning Board, Mr. Mario Luciola. We believe we have the mayor here.
So, first of all, I've known Mario for a long time. He lives right down the street from me. And his efforts on the planning board over 19 years are exceptional. He's done a great job representing the city with class, dignity, and professionalism. He's always there when you need him. His role on the planning board is minor compared to what he does for the Italian community in the city of Fall River, whether it's his dinners, whether it's his trips down to Bicentennial Park to honor those that have passed away. He's done great things for the city of Fall River, and the city does not want to let that go unacknowledged. So in honor of that, in honor and recognition of his 19 years of dedicated service and commitment to the city of Fall River Planning Board, the citizens of Fall River want to extend him their best wishes and express their heartfelt continued good faith and success in all he does. Congratulations. You want to say a few words, Mario? That'd be great.
The only thing I can say, I say to the guy up above, when drive home from the lottery in Braintree, I don't know what I was. At that time, I had 4 heart attacks. I found on my car had Dr. Schwartz's number, so I call him and I says, I don't know what I am. I says, I know. He says to me, I know where you are. You're going to come at my office right now. That was the news. And I spoke to the guy up above. I says, I'm not ready to come up here. He says, no, I don't need you. I have too many pain here, so I don't need you. Stay away. And I took positive, one day at a time. You know, my daughters, my friends, throughout. Do I miss this place? Do I miss all of you? Yes. Do I miss the city of Fall River? No, I'm here for the city and I'm here for all my friends. So again, I think one day at a time, and I think everything is positive. That are these people asking me, how old am I? I told the guy before I left the Clifton, he says, we're 72. And he says, I'm old. Next year I'm gonna be 90. And I ain't going out because all the friends, all the family that I have, they didn't give me nothing but strength to be around and not to say, I can do it. We'll do it. If I can do it, and I have family and friends that are there for me. And I always want to be there for them. And the city of Fall River, since 1954, I say, this is my home. And I'll never want to say, I don't want to leave it forever. And the guy up above says, no, they need you. I don't need you up here. Stay in good health. But thank you. It's good to see all of you.
So good. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
I'm going to give you one good Mario Luciola story.
Geez. There we go.
I used to sit on the other side of these tables, but I remember during the COVID meeting, Patty was the clerk. We had our Christmas decorations in the back, and the COVID meetings were fantastic. So before the meeting, we're all logging on, and we're just making small talk. Here comes Mario walking out of his kitchen, glass of red wine in his hand. Salute before the meeting. He was so happy. That's what I remember. Always a smile, always a glass of red wine. And you are missed. You are missed, but we're glad you're still here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was an honor being on the board with you, my friend.
Sure was.
It was an honor for me. I still be an honor.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah,
Still use your pen.
We all have them.
Anytime
Oh, a lottery pens.
They pay you. They didn't pay you. I get on this. Write a picture.
I'll write you a check with it. Thank
But
you very much.
thank you. It's good to see all of you. All of you.
Same here.
I was lucky enough, and I get myself lucky with family, good friends. When I look at each and one of you, not only my friend, I look at my good friend, the mayor, you're my family. That's the way I look at it. And I want to keep going there.
We feel the same way.
Keep plugging along. You are loved by many people.
In
Thank
good
you.
health. You'll never say, well, what are they, where they are, and where they are. Every day of my life, always think about the past and the future. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mario.
Very nice. It's great speaking to you. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Let's go get a glass of wine.
Salute.
Okay. Don't forget, the same size when you come up, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was a pleasurable.
All right. 19 years of service. And he was 90 years old. 4 heart attacks. I like the COVID story. I like during the COVID meetings, it was, you have a glass of wine, salute, keeping them alive. 90 years old. What he did for the city, it's huge. 19 years on the planning board. That makes a significant difference in the changes in the city over those 2 decades. Salute to that man. Now, moving along, we're going to get to some new development. And a lot of people are fond of some of the new development in the city. It's too expensive. People feel like it's pricing Fall River residents out. And a lot of that is correct. Temporarily, in my opinion. So, we're going to get to some new development on North Main Street, which is downtown Fall River. And do you feel like this is positive for the city? Or do you feel like this development is a negative thing for the city and will have negative connotations afterwards? Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Massachusetts leaders have announced a new round of housing development awards supporting more than 3,400 homes across 16 communities. Officials were at Durfee Block Apartments in Fall River this morning, a former bank that will soon have new life. The goal is to build new places to live in gateway cities while diversifying the types of housing and improving neighborhoods as a whole.
Many of the developments in gateway cities are happening in downtowns, which makes my heart really sing, knowing the vibrancy that we tie to our main streets and how that identifies a community. Having market rate units or some percentage of market rate units in our historic downtowns, frankly, in buildings that used to play prominent roles is so critical.
This will be the 6th round of awards handed out as part of the program.
Coming down here to 84 North Main Street, which will soon be converted into 22 market rate apartments. We have a number of dignitaries here. A few people are going to talk, but it's really important that we get out the point that these housing development incentive program grants are very, very important to the gateway cities across Massachusetts. We have people here from Pittsfield, Lowell. These monies go directly back into the communities to look at property that's in distress, that's going to be converted into beautiful, here, 22 market rate apartments. We're going to have historic preservation. We're going to support local businesses, and we're going to advance the production and housing goals of the Healy Driscoll administration that so much wants more housing in the city so that prices will float down and people have the opportunity to come here. Again, this is going to be a landmark project because we're right down here on North Main Street, as opposed to some of the other ones we've done at the Mills and other things in Fall River. But with that being said, as everyone knows, I'm not a big talker, but I do want to introduce a very good friend to the city of Fall River. She was here the other night. I don't think she left. She probably slept over, and she'll probably be down the end of the week also, because she comes down because she's concerned about what's going on in all the gateway cities, but she takes special interest in all of them, and she comes to Fall River in person to ask, what do you need for help? What can we do to support you, and where are we going from here? Very, very important to have hands-on politicians like that don't just call us and say, how's it going? So I want to introduce my very, very, very good friend, Lieutenant Governor of Massachusetts, Kim.
Hey everyone, good morning. Such a pleasure to be here for this announcement. Thank you, Mayor, for not only your strong partnership, but the way you're leading. Always great to be here with you, Senator Rodrigues, somebody who never lets us forget where his district is and why it's so important that we make investments. And that's coming from the heart. And as someone who certainly led a gateway city just a little north of here in Salem, along the water, really value these historic gateway cities and what they can mean. I know Rep. Viola couldn't be here. We were together. We were all together just a couple of days ago, celebrating the lighting of the Braga Bridge, another investment in infrastructure here in the district. And it's great to see you, Rep. Field, as well, knowing that we've got a project in your district in Taunton. So important that we have a strong partnership with the legislature. All of the funding for our HDIP awards comes from the Affordable Homes Act and our ability to work in partnership with each other to recognize what it means to invest in a gateway city, in places that need housing. We need housing everywhere, but particularly in gateway cities. And many of the developments in gateway cities are happening in downtowns, which makes my heart really sing, knowing the vibrancy that we tie to our main streets and how that identifies a community. Having market rate units or some percentage of market rate units in our historic downtowns, frankly, in buildings that used to play prominent roles, is so critical. This is an old bank, I'm told. It was one of the first banks in Fall River. And look at the craftsmanship. Like, you can't recreate some of this. And we're in the before stage, right? So I can't wait to see the after stage. But this is one of the most important investments we make, housing where people will live. That's going to help drive down cost of housing overall, but it takes a partnership to do that. And so today we're proud to announce $18.6 million in Housing Development Incentive Program tax credits. That's going to help create 662 new homes in 6 gateway cities in Massachusetts. They're all listed here. These are projects that would not happen without this funding. I really want to make that clear. These are places that have gaps, whether it's the cost of the redevelopment or the reuse or what you can garner for rents. It just doesn't pencil out. But because of the HDIP programs, we're seeing historic investments in gateway cities, particularly in areas that will create that additional vibrancy, whether it's a mill or a downtown setting. Here, this will be the Durfee Block Apartments, one of 6 projects receiving HDIP fundings. They're going to be able to use the $1.5 million in tax credits to create 22 new rental homes. And that's going to be future patrons for the coffee shop I just visited down the street, or people who can live here and work here who might not be able to do that now. It's an exciting opportunity, not just for Fall River, but for all the gateway cities receiving awards. And frankly, there are many more before this and many more that will come after this. This is one of our successful programs, and we're grateful to be in a position to help support it. Whether it's a historic building like this one or even ground up construction, we're creating the housing we need by working together in this way. When we cut the taxes in 2023 as part of the first official administration's bill, we also tripled the size of the HDIP program. That was a tax credit to go back into gateway cities, helping with that vibrancy. As a former mayor of Salem, I was the mayor of Salem for 17 years. And so I know how hard it is to get these deals to pencil out and to get the stars to align, that you have people willing to make the investments. These are not easy projects, particularly when you're talking about historic rehabilitation, having an economic cycle that works to make them pencil out, and then having the state be a partner in that. That's when you see the stars are really lining up, and that's why it's so great to be here. This is part of how we think about collaborations. You know, we have a major housing challenge in Massachusetts across the entire Commonwealth. We've developed the first statewide housing plan. We know what we need to build, and we're 100,000 units on our way since we've taken office, but we've got another 120,000 units to go. And last time I checked, there wasn't 100,000 unit development that we could rely on. So it's projects like this. We need singles, we need triples, we need doubles all across Massachusetts to help us tackle the housing needs. And that is going to drive down cost and make for more affordable housing overall everywhere. These investments are working. Both the policy investments we've made, whether it's allowing accessory dwelling units as of right, supporting additional investments in HDIP, supporting first-time home buyers with new dollars for down payments that can put people in a position to own their first home. And some of our HDIP programs are not all rentals. Some of those are also home ownership opportunities. So we've got a good start on the first $100,000. We know we've got more work to do. And we think this is actually the work that the state government should be doing. We can have the best policies, we can have tremendous resources, but housing gets built in communities. It gets built by having local leaders, committed developers who are willing to put the pieces together to take on projects. And at the end of it, it's going to create a place for somebody to live and someone to serve as a patron for a restaurant or a coffee shop or a business that needs workers. And that's the key to having vibrant, revitalized communities, and in particular in our gateway cities, places that delivered for their regions. They were the major economic drivers in this region. We want to make sure we're supporting those efforts to bring them back, to create that vibrancy. So happy to be here with all of you, and can't wait to come back for the ribbon cutting and see this amazing space come together, the after, as I like to call it. It's now my pleasure. We are so fortunate that when we took office, we knew the importance of housing was top of the list everywhere we were. I could be in the 413 in Western Mass, where housing is a little bit more affordable than Eastern Mass. It was still not more affordable to the folks who were there. So we decided to create our own housing secretariat, again, with the partnership of the legislature. And that's when we have a housing and livable communities cabinet secretariat. And they are responsible for helping drive housing. The governor's been very clear with us, more housing, faster. And we've been able to invest mightily in communities, small, large, urban, rural, to ensure that we're demanding the housing that we need. That doesn't happen unless you've got strong leadership leading that team, finding ways to both break down barriers, create incentives, and get to days like today and the day that will come shortly after this one, when we're cutting ribbons on new houses. And we're lucky to have a secretariat who understands that world, who comes from us both as a former elected official and also the former regional administrator here in HUD, knows housing, knows how to drive a team, and knows how to deliver results. Secretary Juana Matias, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to be here in Fall River to celebrate another milestone in expanding housing opportunities across our Commonwealth. Thank you to Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, whose relentless leadership is invaluable to our Commonwealth and who's made housing production a top priority across this administration. Under the Healy-Driscoll administration, we are using every tool available to us to increase housing production, preserve affordability, and make it possible for more Massachusetts residents to live in the communities they love. I want to recognize Senate Ways and Means Chair Michael Rodrigues and congratulate him on his leadership in delivering another strong state budget that Governor Healy will sign today. That budget reflects the partnership and commitment that continue to move Massachusetts forward on housing affordability and investments in communities across the Commonwealth. I'd also like to recognize, I know she can't be with us here today, Chair Carol Fiola, for her leadership on the Mass Winds Act, and Rep. Fields, who's here with us today, and Mayor Coogan. Thank you for welcoming us to Fall River and for your continued partnership in advancing housing and economic development here in the city. And to Ken Fiola, the developer leading this project, thank you for your vision and leadership in bringing the Durfee Block apartments to life. Projects like this are only possible because of strong partnerships, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, with our developers, municipalities, and the Commonwealth. Finally, I'd like to recognize our team at HLC, our housing development team, which is led by Kate Racer. Their dedication and expertise help turn these investments into real homes across Massachusetts. I want to congratulate all 6 Housing Development Incentive Program awardees. We are recognizing today Durfee Block Apartments here in Fall River, 216 Canal Street in Lawrence, Franco-American School Phase 3 in Lowell, 24 to 34 North Park Square residents in Pittsfield, Whittington Mill Apartments in Taunton, and Clark Block Rehabilitation in Worcester. Together, these awards represent $18.6 million in Housing Development Incentive Program tax credits and will help create 660 new homes across 6 gateway cities. These awards represent more than an investment in housing. They represent a commitment in the future of these communities and in the people who will call them home. Here in Fall River, we are standing inside a building with a remarkable history. Built in 1887 as the first National Bank building, this property has been part of downtown Fall River for generations. Today, it is given a new purpose. Rather than remaining underutilized, it will become 22 new rental homes, bringing new life to this historic building while helping to meet the housing needs of this community. That is exactly what makes HDIP such a powerful, powerful tool. It helps create new housing by transforming vacant, underutilized, and historically significant buildings into places where people can live. It closes financing gaps, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, on projects that are often too complex to move forward without state support. And it helps gateway cities build on the assets they already have, their downtowns, historic buildings, and infrastructure, and strong local partnerships. Across Massachusetts, we know we need more housing, but we also know that the path to creating housing looks different in every community. In our gateway cities, the opportunity is often about transformation. It's about bringing new life to historic buildings, activating vacant spaces, supporting small businesses, increasing foot traffic on main streets, and creating homes near jobs, transit, schools, and the communities people want to be a part of. That is why programs like HDIP matter. From Fall River to Lawrence, Lowell, Pittsfield, Taunton, and Worcester, today's awardees are showing what is possible when state and local government, developers, and community partners work together. They are preserving the character of these communities while creating the housing our future depends on. At HLC, we are very, very proud to administer HDIP because we see firsthand what it makes possible. We see projects move from concept to construction. We see historic buildings come back to life. We see downtowns gain new momentum. And most importantly, we see more Massachusetts residents gaining access to the homes in the communities they love. Congratulations again to all of today's awardees. Thank you to the City of Fall River for hosting us, to Ken Fiola and his team for their vision and partnership, and to everyone who helped make these projects possible. Together, we are building stronger neighborhoods, creating opportunity, and making Massachusetts a more affordable place to call home. And with that, I'd love to introduce Chairman Rodrigues.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Good morning, everyone. It's just so great to be here. My goal at all of these events is to speak shorter than Mayor Coogan, which is difficult because he is short and sweet and to the point, which I very much, and we all very much appreciate. But first, thank you. Thank you to Lieutenant Governor Driscoll for being here again today. We were just together the other evening as we lit the Braga Bridge. Thank you. And Governor Healy, the governor was on she and I were speaking by phone as I was driving here. She is signing the FY27 budget as we speak. Yeah, absolutely. Most people will talk about the size of it, $63.3 billion investments throughout so many important areas in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. But it also contains thousands of line items and sections, including many addressing housing issues here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, primarily focused around streamlined permitting. Just anything we can do to make it easier, quicker, faster, and more affordable to build housing in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, we're all focused on. And there's not, as the Lieutenant Governor said, we have a lot of challenges, right? Every state, every community has challenges, whether it's healthcare costs, prescription drug costs, the cost of utilities and energy. But I think the greatest challenge that we really need to focus on for the future of Massachusetts is housing. You know, the #1 demographic of out-migration in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is a 25 to 40-year-old demographic. That's dangerous for a Commonwealth's future. And the #1 reason why these young adults are leaving the Commonwealth is the affordability of housing. We have to stop that. And one step at a time, and no one has taken more of a lead on that than the Healy Driscoll administration. So thank you. Thank you to my colleagues in government, Representative Fiola, who's not here, but a strong partner as we triple the allocations of HDIP awards in the tax bill a couple years ago. To Representative Fields, congratulations. I know how strongly of an advocate you've been for the project in Taunton. To the developer of this project, Monty Ferris, many emails exchanged back and forth and phone calls trying to help and support you every step of the way. And we will continue to do that. Most of all, thank you to Ken Fiola, who I'm going to introduce. Where is Ken? Right over there. Okay, way over there. Who is really the leader in all of the development here in the city of Fall River, whether it's on the waterfront, whether it's downtown, whether it's in the Flint section of Fall River. There's lots going on, and there's no greater champion for developing and improving the quality of life here in the city of Fall River more than Ken Fiola. So Ken, you're up, buddy.
Good morning, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Matias, Senator, Mayor, Representative Fields. Thank you so much for coming to Fall River and visiting 84 North Main Street in its pre-construction phase. I know sometimes we have these events and it's a little bit more sanitized, but I think it's interesting to see a project that's really in its infancy. I'd also like to recognize and ask them to stand, both Monty and Erica Ferris, the actual owners and developers of this property. Okay. Without their support and their belief and their vision for investing in downtown Fall River, we wouldn't be here today. And I'd also like to congratulate them for putting together a smorgasbord of funding sources, right? Because these, as most of the developers in this room know, these projects are not easy. Okay, you need as much assistance as you can get because typically the rates here in gateway cities are a little bit suppressed as opposed to other areas. By having the state incentives such as HDIP, that really helps developers get to that point where they can positively cash flow. In this case, Monty was very aggressive in securing with the senator and the delegation's assistance and the governor's assistance and lieutenant governor's assistance, other funding sources. So in addition to the 1.5 million that he received in HDIP funding, he was also able to get 1.5 million in historic federal historic tax credits, 1.5 million in state historic tax credits, 958,000 in UPP funding, and an additional 300,000 in local CPC funding. Okay, so collectively, all those funding sources make this project become a reality. And as the Lieutenant Governor said earlier, this was an abandoned building. It was an eyesore. Bank 5 just recently invested more than $10 million in their corporate headquarters across the street. We have the People's University over here to our left, which is our public library. And you can see that there's rehab and renovation taking place there. And there's other down the street here at the Old Eagle. They received UPP funding for an elevator to make their second floor accessible. So there's a lot of activity taking place, and the common denominator amongst all this activity is state investment. Without a state investment, none of these things would be happening. So I cannot overstate the importance of HDIP programs when it comes to helping facilitate and finance these projects. And without that, we wouldn't be here today. So I don't want to belabor this point any further. I just want to congratulate all the award recipients for putting your money and reputation and experience on the line, because these projects are not easy. So I commend you for taking that risk. I can once again commend the Ferris family and sincerely thank the legislative delegation and the administration for helping make these projects become a reality, because without the partnership of all these pieces, this doesn't happen. So once again, thank you. Congratulations, Monty and Erica. We look forward to coming back here in a year or so when this project is up and running and creating more vibrancy in the downtown area. Thank you very much.
I think we were hoping that we could take pictures with any of the recipients who are here. But Field, I don't know if you want to offer a few comments. I know this Taunton project's important. We can certainly spend some time taking some pictures together to celebrate the beginning of that. Taunton's also had a number of housing units that have come online. I just really want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you to the investors who are making these, putting these projects together and making these complex projects work. Thank you to the local officials who are saying yes to housing. This is not happening everywhere. We need to capture hearts and minds. As the chairman said, if we don't have enough housing, we're losing talent. We want everything we can to keep talent here. So thanks everyone for being here. We'll ask all the awardees to come up so we can take some pictures and celebrate this moment, and look forward to seeing your actual projects when they're all completed. Congratulations again.
Okay. I got a few things to say, positive and negative. Good news or bad news first? Most people pick bad news. So, there's going to be 22 one-bedroom apartments. And market rate, So I'm assuming if you can afford the market rate 1-bedroom, you have a vehicle. So that would be 22 spaces. However, there's not parking for 22 spaces. Now, there is a parking lot next door. Maybe there would be some type of lease agreement to allow parking in the lot. And also, the smorgasbord of funding. One, it's the only way this project gets done. And two, if you add it all up, it's like $6-7 million in all different types of grants, HDIP, UPP, this one, that one, the historical one. Like, these politicians was like, hey, we can find you money because it's in the budget for all these different grant programs. You just got to apply for it, and this building fits the requirement, being historical and in such need of renovation in the zoning district that it's in, downtown, in a gateway city. So it checked all the boxes on the checklist and got a lot of funding. Now, 22 apartments will bring more liveliness and money to downtown. Rumors of a business or restaurant on the first floor. I'm not positive, but it would make sense since that is a mixed-use building. However, it might just be a lobby for these apartments. I think mixing the dynamic North Main, South Main, downtown could help liven it up. Put some market rate money down there. Those people want to spend their money. They buy dumb stuff. They just don't budget because they got it. For those people, give them somewhere to go. And it might be people who, hey, work in Boston. They're in a 1-bedroom market rate apartment and take the train up to Boston every day. It's possible. However, this liveliness is something that the city, in my opinion, needs. I'd rather that building have something than nothing. So when these buildings that are vacant, run down, abandoned, sitting there for like a decade, doing nothing, turn into apartments, I'm not upset. I understand that those properties are something that nobody wants to touch with a 10-foot pole because it's going to cost way too much to renovate. They've sat vacant for too long. Like the Bank Street Armory around the corner. It sat vacant for too long to really do anything with it unless you almost double the investment. Now, unless it's something that you can recoup your investment on and make a profit, it doesn't make sense. Hence why these developers are making rental units. Because if I'm going to spend an arm and a leg to buy the property, I want to make my money back on this investment and then profit. So that's what they're doing. The problem, in my opinion, is maintenance in Fall River. Fall River does not maintain any properties. You can point out any city councilor individually, that's fine. They're all to blame. Every single person that's in the politics of this city is to blame for the lack of maintenance. And the real people to blame are the ones who aren't doing their job maintaining it, but are getting a salary. That's what you got to pay attention to. If we take care of our stuff, it's not going to cost too much more to renovate because it's already well maintained. But if it's not well maintained, when it is time to fix it, you're going to have to fix everything. And now it costs way too much. So like I said, unless I'm making money back, I'm not investing that much into the project. I'll let it sit. That's why all these developers are making the rental units, and the smart ones realize the landscape of the city and the region right now. These developers know, hey, these cities are in lack of housing. I can get a bunch of state money and grants and all of this for developing rental properties. And now my investment is almost paid for. Like that investment on North Main Street, that man's got about 6 million from all different sources. 1.5 million here, 1.5 million here, another million there, 900,000 there, another million here. All different organizations and things that he was eligible for. That's smart money. That's smart business. He basically got that whole building paid for and the remodeling most likely almost paid for with other people's money. And he's going to collect 22 market rate rents for 1 bedrooms, which is over 1,000. His market rate, 1 bedroom, 4 of it is about 1,000, 1,100. So that's $22,000 a month. You can't be mad at the man for bad business, good business. You can't be mad about that. Moving along, we got this right here. Check it out. We'll talk about it. 4 man who died in apparent drowning remembered for love of the outdoors as Fundraiser announced. RIP to this man right here. Prayers and condolences to his family. 4 man who was found deceased after going missing while swimming Wednesday is being remembered. Plymouth police responded to a possible drowning after 2 p.m. at Charge Pond in Myles, Standish State Forest. Victim was located approximately 3:45 p.m. in water that was 17 to 19 feet deep and was announced deceased. According to his son, a GoFundMe fundraiser 52-year-old Jonathan Maynard was a devoted father, a proud grandfather, and someone who truly loved life. He found peace in the outdoors, whether he was hiking, fishing, or simply taking a walk in nature. The Plymouth County District Attorney's Office is investigating. So prayers, condolences. After this live ends, go back, hit that GoFundMe, and throw something that way. I mean, that's a horrible loss. And again, prayers and condolences to the family. Now, a lot of people nowadays, especially here in the city of Fall River, everybody has Ring doorbell cameras. 75% of people, at least. And you see things that back in the day, you didn't really see. Now, is it because you were outside or inside? You were inside, didn't see it, or outside and influenced somebody's behavior where they didn't do something? Or is it a whole new day and age and people are just crazy? I'd like to believe that we're finally seeing things that always happen, but now that there's a camera to catch it, we finally get it on camera. Now, guys, make sure you keep your doors locked and keep people on alert. Check it out. We'll talk about it. That video was sent to the page. A street was not given. It said it was in Fall River. So, guys, be alert, be aware. Somebody is out there. And they're checking car door handles. So keep them locked wherever you are parked. Now, moving along. Know how we've been talking about Maze Playground, the Century Playground, that Rep. Alan Sylvia had $100,000 earmarked for and was denied because he supported the voter-approved audit. And there's been like retaliation against whatever he's asking money for. And it's basically a move to get people to turn on him. Like, hey, you can't get anything done, so you got to go. So they're really blackballing the assets, but it also holds our city hostage. So what our city has done, and shout out the Fall River Reporter, the other Fall River page that covers everything here in the city, and other cities, they expand and go other regions, while I remain strictly Fall River now. They have been posting about promoting people who donate to Maze Playground. So, unbeknownst to these people, I'm also posting what they donate on our page of over 20,000 followers for free whenever they donate and Fall River Reporter posts it. So you get their page with all of their followers and the 20,000 followers here. So these two local businesses donated money. Well, one's a local business, one is a church. Donated money to Mays Playground, which is fundraising, trying to get $100,000 that the earmark was for. They were only given $10,000, which was a slap in the face. So they need $90,000 more. Everybody's teaming up. Check this out. We'll talk about it. With autism. So guys, get the word out there. We had kids bring the battleship here with coins. We can get a park built. We can get that done. I mean, so moving along, I want to get to this video right here where Sheriff Paul Heroux had some words to say about ICE. We spoke about this the other day, but he went on the news, and said this. I want you to comment below how you feel. Do you feel like he was in the right? Was he in the wrong? Was the sheriff right or wrong? Or was ICE right or wrong? Comment below. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
The Bristol County Sheriff is fighting with ICE. That's a feud. It's like they're going back and forth with each other. Sheriff Paul Heroux is in studio with me. Sheriff, welcome in.
Gee, good to see you again.
Glad you came overseas to be with us here today.
I travel, yeah, I do some 3-day weekends.
Let's get right to it. ICE is saying that you're soft on illegal immigration. You let a guy out. You shouldn't have done that. In response to that, you're firing back at them on social media, and you're on with me today. What's your beef with ICE?
ICE, on a post on X, said that we did not honor an ICE detainer. And here's the thing. If we did what they were asking, we would be in violation of state law and federal law. And I've cited the Lund decision, Lund versus Commonwealth 2017, state law. And the federal decision was that the U.S. Supreme Court to Arizona v. United States 2012.
Right.
We are not allowed to do any federal immigration law enforcement. And the minute somebody posts bail, we cannot hold them. We're not allowed to.
Right. Now you're saying that's established state law in the Commonwealth.
Yep.
ICE differs with you. They say our warrants have the full weight of the law. Federal government, you ought to honor them. Is that basically the dispute here?
Not in this particular case. The warrants that you're talking about, what's called the administrative warrant versus a judicial warrant.
Yep.
And ICE has been throwing around their administrative warrants as if they're judicial warrants. That's another problem. That's an unrelated problem, but that is kind of more of the same, though. ICE is misleading the public by talking about it like that. But in this particular case, somebody posted bail, somebody who shouldn't be here, somebody who has a criminal record, and we released that person because they posted bail. But under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, so this is also, what we did was also constitutional. The 14th Amendment says all persons are subject to all laws. And so it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not, if you're illegal or not, if you post bail, we have to let you go. We are required to.
I understand that. By the way, we got into this administrative versus judicial warrants in Rhode Island, where we've had trouble in Providence going back and forth with ICE. They insist that, no, that's enough. They insist that they've got case law. You're saying it's not. All right, so we got loggerheads here. Now, when you were going to release this particular person, was there anything that would have kept you from calling ICE and say, hey, I have to release him? Law says I have to release him, but he's going to be on the street right here. He's coming out that door. If you want him, come get him.
Yep.
Is there anything that would have prevented you from doing that?
There are 3 things that I have chosen to incorporate. So the first thing I will say is we give ICE any information we are legally required to give them by the state public records law. So we give them what we have to give them. But what's optional, and why didn't I optionally do this? I'll give you 3 reasons. The first one is that our jail was sued, before I got there, was sued for $10 million for cooperating with ICE. And when we went to navigate that lawsuit, ICE said, you're on your own. So reason number 1 is DHS and ICE have shown to not be a good law enforcement partner. We had to end up paying out an $800,000 settlement, and ICE did not do anything.
Okay, this is under your predecessor.
Yes,
Sheriff Hodgins.
That happened under him, and then I settled that case for $800,000, and we lost $200,000 in legal fees just to get the settlement to avoid the $10 million.
So you're saying Hodgins cooperated, but when push came to shove, they wouldn't help us defend this lawsuit. I had to pay out. Okay,
exactly.
Number 2.
So that was number 1. Number 2, ICE has routinely throughout the country been shown to violate the civil rights of citizens all over the place.
Now, you know, you'll get an argument on that. ICE says we're doing a very difficult job. You know what law enforcement is like. We're picking up the bad guys, drug dealers, murderers.
4,400 cases have been found to be unlawful detentions of immigrants, not just illegal immigrants, but immigrants, 4,400. And then on top of that, 90% of the prosecutions that ICE has gone after have been thrown out. So issue number 2 is that ICE, I don't want to have anything to do with ICE as they're violating the civil rights, because again, we can be named as a co-defendant when they violate somebody else's civil rights. I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Point well taken. I'm following this. Point 3.
And that actually leads into point number 3, which is point number 2 is that they are routinely violating people's civil rights. But point number 3, if we voluntarily give them information, then they hurt somebody, as they've done many times. 9 people have been killed under ICE, since Trump started the second time, and without any accountability. And I have a problem with that. If our employees do something wrong, hold them accountable. But if they hurt somebody and we voluntarily gave them information, my organization and I are going to be named as a co-defendant, and the taxpayers are going to be paying out because ICE didn't act professionally. If ICE cleans up its act, we can then re-engage and treat them like a legitimate law enforcement agency.
Listen, a lot of law enforcement agencies have bad actors and do bad things. That's why we have civilian review boards, right? You're picking and choosing ICE, though. You don't say, oh, I'm not going to deal with, what was the Karen Reed case again?
Like state police?
No, the town and
like I can't, I think.
Listen, they had a couple of bad actors with Karen Reed. I'm not going to deal with them. You don't say that. You just say ICE.
Well, ICE, the director, what was the guy's name?
Tom Homan.
No, that wasn't Homan. I was thinking of the other guy. He was pushed out a few months back, and then Christy Nome, she was the secretary. She was fired. ICE was not run properly from the beginning. Christy Nome proved to be incompetent, and now the people who were responsible for Renee Good's death and Alex Preddy, they have not been held accountable. Charges have not been filed. ICE does not hold its people accountable when they do things wrong. At my jail, we have fired people for doing a lot less than what ICE agents have done. We hold people accountable. ICE is routinely not doing that. Again, 90% of their cases were thrown out, and then 4,400 of their cases were found to be unlawful. And so we put the taxpayers at risk by participating with them.
I just have about 30 seconds left, but I think it's a salient point. The Massachusetts State Police, they're in the tabloids every other day for either overtime scandals or all kinds of shenanigans, but you deal with them.
And they hold their people accountable. That's the difference. If ICE was routinely holding their people accountable and saying, you know what, so-and-so is going to be brought up on charges, or they're going to be administrative review, we're going to make it public, make it transparent, I might have a different feeling about this. The state police do that. They hold their people accountable. The FBI, we don't have this problem with the FBI. We work with the FBI every day. And we work with state police on a regular basis. ICE acts differently, so we're going to treat them differently.
You made it clear. You just made it clear, just as we recap. You think ICE, bad actors, they don't hold their people responsible. They make a lot of mistakes, and you're not going to cooperate with them because you're concerned about getting sued. If you give them information, things go wrong, they're going to come back and hold you.
We will give them anything we are legally required to give them, but nothing more, nothing less.
All right. Paul Heroux, the sheriff of Bristol County, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you again. Good to see you, Gene. Thanks for having me on.
You got it.
All right. So do you think he's right? Do you think he's wrong? Now, legally, he's covered. But he's basically saying ICE doesn't hold their people accountable. He feels like there's a lot of bad actors. He doesn't want to get involved with ICE. because of potential lawsuits. How do you feel? Again, legally, he's covered by law, and the Supreme Court already made a decision on it that he does not have to turn these people into ice. Not physically turn the people into ice like he's some type of wizard, but report them to ICE. So he's not. And then since he feels that ICE has been violating people's civil rights, that's the reason why he's not calling them up and giving them a tip and saying, hey, I just released so-and-so, and they're an illegal immigrant, come pick them up. That is his reasoning for not alerting them. How do you feel? Comment below. And guys, before we get to any more, because we got 2 more things to talk about, guys, share this out to your news feed, share this to groups, tag people in the post, tag people in the comment section, put at followers, at highlight, at top fans. Highly appreciated. If you share this out to a group that you are an admin or a moderator of, you can put at everyone. That's super support right there. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hype the video after it's done. Highly appreciated. Wherever you're watching, follow, subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you know when I go live. Check this out. We'll talk about it. Trump denies Massachusetts disaster request for February blizzard. Mass Governor Haley on Thursday pledged to appeal a decision from President Trump denying a request to declare the February blizzard a disaster. State officials asked the federal government to formally declare the storm a major disaster in April. If granted, the request would have helped state agencies get some funding. The storm dumped record snow across Mass, particularly on the south coast, over 3 feet. Storm also knocked out power for hundreds of thousands of residents. In a statement, Healy said she was deeply disappointed by Trump's decision. Mass experienced one of the worst storms in decades. Our first responders worked around the clock to keep public and people safe and begin recovery. They did their job, and now President Trump needs to do his, she said. When communities are recovering from disasters, the president should be focused on helping people, not turning his back on states that need support. We intend to appeal, and we'll keep fighting to secure every federal dollar Massachusetts deserves. An analysis of public data from FEMA by Andrew Rumbach at the Urban Institute, a nonprofit research organization, found that Trump has routinely denied requests coming from states that voted against him in the last election. Rumbach found the administration approved 54 of 64 requests from states that voted for Trump in 2024, compared to 9 of 22 from states that voted for Vice President Kamala Harris. He also found the administration resolved requests from other states. So, Trump's petty like that. He's kind of like the old white version of 50 Cent. Like if 50 Cent was an 80-year-old white guy, he would be Trump. So, that right there is like, okay, great. But we needed that money, bro. That was a disaster. Everybody in life talking about, oh, the blizzard of 78, blizzard of 78, blizzard of 78. Oh, yeah? Well, the blizzard of 26 topped that and stop talking. I don't want to hear about the blizzard of 78. That ain't the biggest storm. Stop your bragging. I had to shovel a tunnel up the street I said up the street, a tunnel up to like my shoulders. Wild. Went outside, never seen that much snow ever in my life. So yeah, that was a natural disaster. And Trump said, nah, your state voted against me. So you ain't got my back, I ain't got yours. So sorry, guys. That's real divisive. However, Trump is fragile. So, did you really expect the money from Trump? Moving on to the last piece in news today. Check it out. We'll talk about it. Four police, Good Samaritan, combined to arrest man accused of breaking into and stealing from city business. That's the guy. The combined effort resulted in the arrest of a local man after a city business was reportedly broken into. According to Acting Police Chief J.T. Hall, on Monday, 8:45 p.m., officers responded to save an auto body. 22-year-old Messiah Joseph Soares was being subdued by a citizen as he was caught in the act of burglary. Officers took him into custody and were able to view video surveillance further connecting Soares. He was charged with breaking and entering into a building at nighttime for a felony, breaking and entering into a vehicle boat at nighttime for a felony, 2 counts, larceny from a building, and breaking into a depository. Court records show that in Monday's arraignment, he pled not guilty and was released on a personal, with a pre-trial hearing scheduled for August 5th. So he already home. And he just go back to court August 5th. They let him go home. They not really worried or concerned. He's young. Probably first case like this. Hence why they gave a personal instead of like some type of cash bail. So he might get probation. Now, everybody, with that being said, I want to thank everybody who tuned into today's episode. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this out with your news feed. Share this to groups. Share this to your friends, family, loved ones, like-minded individuals, everybody. Send this to people in Messenger. It's highly appreciated. And everybody, follow, subscribe, turn on notifications, tag people in the comments, support. It's free. And yeah, if you want to monetarily support the page, send some over to the Cash App. It's highly appreciated. I mean, it helps me run this page and get this information out to more people. Everybody be good, be safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble, and treat everybody how you want to be treated. You already know what it is. It's your boy Aaron All-Nighter, Street Magic Multimedia, Fall River. You know, I'm off this. Peace. All-Nighter. Street Magic. Chopped in silence. Kelly Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just kid from Fall River, what I know. Riding through my city, that they're gentrifying, market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there, they ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame, gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife, transparent police, body cams that's live, I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it, even though when involving police it becomes public info. But that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying, panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying, parents crying, losing kids, half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth, teach them right and wrong when not to shoot? Started young in kindergarten, mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings till senior year. Let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR, less bills that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Fall River. It's just my observations, chopped in silence. Kelly Azul on the beat. It's all nighter. All nighter. Street magic. Chopped in silence. Kelly Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just a kid from Fall River, what I know. Riding through my city that they're gentrifying, market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there, they ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame, gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife, transparent police, body cams that's live, I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it, even though when involving police it becomes public info. But that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying, panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying, parents crying, losing kids, half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth, teach them right and wrong when not to shoot? Started young in kindergarten, mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings till senior year. Let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR, less bills that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Fall River. It's just my observations, chopped in silence. Kelly Azul on the beat. It's all nighter.